Global offensive on illicit dollar holdings, targeting black market reserves, offshore accounts, and pallets of untraceable cash hidden in vaults around the world. Under the newly passed Global Corruption Accountability and Dollar Sanitization Act, any U.S. dollar found to be unregistered, hoarded, or associated with tax evasion or financial crimes will be invalidated and blacklisted through a sweeping digital traceability overhaul. According to the U.S. government, the new serial tracking system will invalidate unregistered dollar bills tied to black markets or criminal transactions. Offshore banks also must report all high-value cash dollar holdings within 90 days or face U.S. sanctions and asset freezes. Dr. Bertha Bangara-Chikadza, the president of the Economics Association of Malawi, joins us now to give us a bit of insight in this report, or rather on this update. Doctor, thanks for joining us. Let's just get started, shall we? How do you foresee this act affecting the overall economy, both in the U.S. and globally? I mean, what potential economic implications could arise from invalidating unregistered dollar bills?
All right. I would say it's a good move, considering the illicit market for the dollar that is, all over the world in so many countries. But there might be a lot of implications. When we look at this, for low-income economies like, for example, Malawi or maybe the Latin America, where you see a large informal or financial market, this could be something that we can smile about because it will bring sanity in the market. It can invalidate even those holding these dollars. And in such a way, they might rush to the formal financial market to exchange them for their currencies. And this might actually bring down probably the spread that has been there between the formal financial market and the informal. And looking at it, it's a plus for countries like Malawi, for example. But when you look at the other side, it's something that is difficult to implement because there might also be some implications. There might be bigger innovations in the informal financial market because if you look at it closely, there's a lot of innovation that is happening out there. And so these people might also look at other for example, ways of innovating and trying to maybe use the dollar in a different way. So looking at it, I would say it's a good thing, but it also kind of removing some the trust that people had in the dollar because this is kind of invalidating it. And it might also pave way for maybe the rise and use of for example, Bitcoin, but also we've been hearing about, for example, BRICS, So this might, bring in some innovations, but also people might start now looking for other alternatives of the dollar because they might think that now the dollar is unstable. Even those who were hoarding U.S. Treasury bills, they might now look for other securities which are now stronger, which are stable, and it might bring a lot of implications that I think we cannot talk about now.
But generally positive from what you've stated here. But what changes will offshore banks need to implement in order to comply with the new regulations? How might this affect their operations as well?
Yeah, so, it will be good if it's done in a phased implementation way or gradually being done to avoid these shocks. But I think there is need to collaborate with the international partners to harmonize regulations because, we have different regulations in each and every economy. So for the U.S. to implement this, it needs to work hand in hand with other countries. We have seen that there are other countries, for example, in Dubai and other whistleblowers, which have already started collaborating, if indeed this is true. But there is actually more that needs to be done in terms of maybe legal implications, the financial agreements, and so on and so forth. So there is actually need for greater collaboration with international partners just to harmonize regulations so that this can work.
Harmonized regulation so that this can work indeed. Dr. Bertha Bangara-Chikadza, President of Economics Association of Malawi, just giving us a bit of insight following the U.S. launch of global crackdown on illicit USD holdings.